The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and Apple, over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful gentleman from the Washington State who calls himself the King of Ghetto Rock. He's talk about why he's called that, and he's got a new song out called "Get the Funk," and it's going to be and it's been on number 2 on the iTunes charts, R&B in South Africa. He's also got a new album out called "Bad News," which has been peaking pretty nicely here. Also some other great songs: "Dance with Me," "Don't Be Afraid," "Sunglasses at Night," and of course "Time Keeps On," and more. And he's also, according to reports, the first African-American rock artist since Lenny Kravitz. He's called the modern-day Prince, plays more than 10 instruments. He's diverse, and this guy is just amazing. So let's get the funk out. The King of Ghetto Rock, live from the Plus Studios in Washington State. Here he is, Billy Ray Rock. Billy Ray, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today. Billy Ray, hello. Billy Ray.
And very great to be here. Glad y'all can have me, man.
I thought I lost you there for a minute. I hope I ain't, say something to run you away, but it's glad to have you on. Thanks for joining us, Billy Ray.
Absolutely, man. Always a pleasure, man. I work hard at this music thing. I say this all the time, but I really mean it, man. Anytime I can get any one or two people that likes what I do, man, I consider it a blessing, man.
Well, you're considered a blessing as well, too. Of course, you also got a song, "Get the Funk Out," which is number 2 on iTunes and R&B in South Africa, and new album, "Bad News," which is also in the top 10. You also got some great songs, and also you play more than 10 instruments. And before we get into all that, first of all, before we get into how you got started, how'd you come up with the name King of Ghetto Rock, or how'd you get named that?
Well, the Ghetto Rock thing came because, I started off in music years ago, and I used to listen to a lot of alternative rock, a lot of old Moody Blues, America, a lot of the old hippie music type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started off in rock, and then it kind of went into more of I went into an R&B kind of phase. I go through all these different phases. And I had a friend of mine came up to me. He was listening to one of my songs, and he says, "Hey, man, your song, it's rock, but it's not rock in a classical sense." And he said it's kind of countrified, kind of ghetto. And so I thought, oh, okay. And time went by, and I thought, I don't know if anybody else is that. And then I had somebody send me a tweet, just a random tweet, and says, "Man, your music is different, man. This is some kind of weird ghetto rock," just a random tweet. And I go, I'm just going to grab it. And by the way, Howard Stern said he's the king of all media. I said, hell, I'll just be the king of ghetto rock. So there you go.
Hey, why not take advantage of it? And, of course, you're also being called a modern-day Prince. And how do you feel about that? Maybe be called, like, Prince II, Prince 2.0, or another Prince.
Let me tell you, I am such a huge Prince fan. I've got every album he's ever done. I can name just about any songs that he's ever done. I think that the Purple, there's a link online for the Purple Rain tour. It's a show he did. He had Sheila E. on the stage with him. I still think that's one of the most incredible live performances I've ever seen in my life. But I think anytime anybody can compare me to Prince, man, it's a blessing. I don't, I only say the only reason why I got to explain myself and compare myself to Prince, really, man, is that the only reason why is that Prince did the same thing that I do. He had a real rock feel to a lot of his songs, but he also was really great at making dance music. And that's kind of the lane I'm in. I just kind of fell here. I got a song like Time Keeps On, which is unmistakably alternative rock. Mm-hmm. I got a song called I'm Bringing Back Rock, which is kind of more of an old school rock. I got a song called Listen, which is rock. Or the song, Had a Good Woman. It's like an alternative. And then I got a song like, for example, Sunglasses at Night, which is kind of a trap R&B dance thing. So I'm kind of all over the place with this, and I really rather not settle into a genre. I think it'll make for a much more. It does make for a much more interesting concert.
and ladies and gentlemen, if you heard Sunglasses at Night, don't confuse it with the Corey Hart version, by the way. So don't confuse it.
No kidding. Yeah, I get a lot of people ask me about that. They go, "Oh, not another remake," and I tell them, no. Completely different song. But I did get the title from Corey Hart. Big fan of that song. But it's like the Dance With Me, I stuck a little thing at the end. It was kind of my little tribute to UB40, Red Wine. Mm-hmm. So I'm just, I got a lot of that 80s kind of thing following me around, that I can't seem to get enough of. But,
mm-hmm. And who are some other major influences as well, too, besides the one you mentioned, your favorite artists, singers, and other musicians growing up, besides the one you mentioned?
Well, for me, I had a lot of influences, and then I had a lot of inspirations. My influences range from, Earth, Wind & Fire, Cameo, some of those James Brown funk type stuff. And then as I start to kind of get into my, high school and all that, I became a really big Van Halen fan.
Oh, wow.
That Hot for Teacher guitar solo, there's nothing better than that. It doesn't get any better than that, man. I mean, Eddie Van Halen is a god of guitar as far as I'm concerned. And, but yeah, I was telling a buddy of mine a funny story about that, by the way. He was asking me about different, musicians and whatnot, and I was explaining to him that, I play bass guitar as my primary instrument, and one of the guys that inspired me to pick up the bass guitar is a guy named Louis Johnson. He played with a group called the Brothers Johnson.
Oh, really? That's an amazing group. I love the Brothers Johnson.
Yeah.
Wow.
They had that
man.
Stomp and Strawberry Letter 23.
And one of my favorites, my goodness. Mike,
Isn't that good stuff? I love it. Well, I guess a lot of people don't know this, but when Michael Jackson was putting his Thriller album together, Quincy Jones, who of course produces it, couldn't find a bass player that could knock off that bass line that he wanted for Billie Jean. And eventually he wound up having Louis Johnson come in. He's the one that actually plays the bass line on Billie Jean. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know that. And then the same album, of course, you had Eddie Van Halen showed up and did the guitar solo for Beat It. So what a studio that was, huh? But I get my inspiration from all those guys, man, and Prince is probably forget my influence. I say my inspiration comes from Rick James, Prince, because my inspiration also comes from Earth, Wind and Fire, because they're just a bunch of jazz musicians doing R&B, and their precision is just unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were doing it before drum machines and all this kind of bull crap.
Drum machines? We don't need no stinking drum machines. We've got Earth, Wind, and Fire, the most humble group out there as well, too. So we'll talk more about... Oh, my goodness. We'll talk more about your music in just a minute, but first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. It's powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the king of Ghetto Rock, the modern-day Prince, Billy Ray Rock, out of Washington State here on The Mike Wagner Show. And before we get to some of your music, like Get the Funk and more, tell us how you first got started in music.
Well, I started off years ago as an amateur. I got started just playing in bands with some buddies. Mm-hmm. And then what happened on a professional level, I basically wanted to get in and start a band years ago, but I couldn't rely on anybody. But I knew how to make music. I knew how to play different instruments. I kind of worked up to it. And then one day I rolled out of bed and they had this thing called, it was an MC Roland 303. It's a little box that you can make all the drum beats and everything. And I thought, oh my God, I can make music where I don't need a band. How could this be?
Drum machine, it's back.
Yeah, it's like I don't have to deal with any drummers and baby mamas and all the drama that comes with a band. So what I did was I spent a lot of time just putting together songs. And I wound up putting together a song called Booty Slide. And this was back in the 90s when they had all the booty shaking music going on, the Two Live Crew and all that,
Oh, I remember that, yeah. What was it, Baby Got Back? I think that kicked the whole thing off.
Oh, yeah. All that, man. So I did my song. The song got a little bit of steam to it, got to be really popular on the East Coast and in the South. And I went out and did a bunch of concert dates with that. And I came out of that and then thought I wanted to be a gangster rapper. Mm-hmm. And but the problem with that was I wasn't a gangster. So that didn't work out so well. But I had a lot of great songs that I was happy with, but it just didn't fit. So I came out of that, and then I, started to get. I've always loved house music and EDM music. So I started making some EDM music. What the problem with that is that most venues won't book you if you're an EDM artist unless you're a DJ. Really? And I'm not a DJ. And they said, well, do you got a six-pack? I said, a beer in my fridge? Absolutely. And so I don't have a six-pack nowhere else. They said, well, we can't book you. And I said, okay, well, fine. So I kept making music, and I started producing a lot of songs for a lot of other people. And eventually I just kind of, I got into a rock band because I knew I've always wanted to do rock. But, of course, when I got into an actual band, all the actual band headache came with it. And everybody started not showing up for rehearsal and this and that and all. And I thought, man, I'm just going to do it on my own, and we'll see where this thing goes. I'm not going to do music rock music or rap music or nothing. I'm going to do music that I want to do that's going to make me happy. And if people going to jump in line and like it or they're going to hate it. So I just started doing a bunch of rock tunes on my own. One of my first songs I did when I went out back on my own again was Time Keep On. I did It's Your Birthday, was another rock song. I did a coronavirus song, a lot of rock songs. And along the way, I was like, man, I got other things that are pinging around in my head. And so I started doing some dance music. I did a song called Prince, Are You Listening? That happened right about when he passed away, unfortunately. And I made a little video to it. You can find that on my YouTube channel. But, yeah, I found my way back to where I am now. But to answer your question, it started a long time ago with me doing booty shaking music, you know.
Huh, interesting. And I have to say this, baby got back, and let's get back to music. So I can imagine that. So.
Yeah.
And what did you say? What was that one moment that precisely influenced you into what you're doing today? What was that aha moment that says, yes, this is definitely what I'm going to do?
Well, it's funny. That started before Baby got back and all that. See, what happened was, when I was a kid growing up, my brother was always in the back room practicing on his saxophone. Mm-hmm. Practicing hours and hours, drove me nuts. Couldn't watch TV, couldn't do nothing.
Oh,
he was always practicing. And so I thought this was the stupidest thing I ever heard, him and his stupid dumb horn. So one day, him and his band came to my junior high school and played during lunchtime. And every pissant girl that I ever thought I liked came running to the stage like Jesus just showed up. And I thought, oh, my God, I've got to get in this music thing. And so that was my first aha moment. The second one was when I was out there touring with my Booty Slide song, man, and I saw how, because my song came out, the Booty Slide song, and then years later I would run into people who remembered seeing me in concert. And they tell me, man, when I hear that song, it gives me memories. And I thought, what an awesome, great skill to have, to be able to create music that when it plays, it takes people back to a certain point in their life, a certain house they lived in, a certain food they like to eat. And I thought, there's so many songs that does that for me. I want to be able to do that for other people. And so that was my big aha moment. Because this is something I want to do. As long after I'm going off of this earth, people can punch in a song and push play and say, oh, yeah, the guy can look at his wife and go, honey, I remember we lived at our house on 5th Street. Oh, those are the days. This song takes me back. I want that.
Wow, that is amazing. So it sounds like that you have that special gift when it comes to writing lyrics, like, say, lyrics that relate to, this is the first house I was in. This is the first, girl I fell in love with. This is the first bike and first everything, first dog. It sounds like you pretty much have a gift for that. And also when it comes to your music as well, too, do you base those lyrics on your experiences or other experiences, or what else do you base your lyrics on?
I base my lyrics on a particular topic going into a song, and I try to stay on point throughout the song in some way. But I got to tell you, writing lyrics is my least favorite thing to do in making music. Don't like it. I can make music and beats until the sun comes home or the sun goes down. But I cannot, I don't like writing lyrics. But, yeah, to answer your question, when I do lyrics, I'll come up with a particular, typically with me what will happen is I'll say, for example, I want to make a song about partying. I want to make a song about drinking and getting drunk. So then I'll put together some music. And then if the music sounds like party music, I'll continue and make that song about partying. But Michael Jackson made a great comment once years ago. He said, you always want to let the song write itself. And so that's been my kind of motto for some 15 years now. When I hear music, I let the song write itself. And if it turns out to be what I thought it was going to be in the beginning, great. But the song you'll never hear me doing is some kind of a ballad. I mean, the Had a Good Woman is as close as I get, One of the lyrics in there is, if you were mine, I wouldn't have got locked up. I mean, so you can figure that one out. But I don't do like the soft ballads and Love You, Baby, and Please Come By. I don't do that.
Oh, my goodness. You got me going right now. It's like, come up with a song that says, I love you, but I want to party, or I love you, but I want to be with my dog, or it's like, I know I love your dog, but I'd rather have a cat. Maybe you can come up with something like that. So,
yeah, pretty much, man. Well, I got a song on my album called "Don't Be Afraid," and I've gotten a lot of people that sent me direct messages about how it applies to them. But it's just a song about a guy who's trying to date a girl and she don't want to accept him because of his past.
Oh.
So it's I get a lot of people writing me in on that one, going, "Hey man, I appreciate you making that song. That really describes my situation." So it's I try to mix up my subjects a little bit. From the benign, who cares type subject like Sunglasses at Night. Time Keep On is one of my favorite songs because everything in it is so relevant, with all this, diseases. There's a verse there that says there's families out there that's got nothing to eat because the daddy locked up, he's been there for weeks, but the system don't care. They know. Too busy pointing fingers, don't give a damn. Social workers won't give more. So I mean, it's one of those songs that I think strikes a nerve with so many people with the obvious pain that people are feeling just trying to get through these trying times right now.
And it sounds like it, too, and you've got a really good thing going as well, too. In fact, I say you're one of the rarest talents I've talked to where it's like you write lyrics. It just hits the heart on just about everything, even what's going on right now or some of the good times back in the 90s, the 2000s, turn of the century, or say, like your favorite team, like say, won the championship along those lines. So that's what it sounds like. I compliment you. It's like you're one of the rarest forums, and I appreciate what you do. I mean, you just have a fantastic talent at that.
I appreciate that, man. I did a song called "We in the USA," and it's like a 4th of July type song, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing about that song is I get a lot of military people sending me, messages and everything like that. They go, "Man, I love that song." But I've had military people write me and say, "Hey, that's great that you got that song that's going to be on your album, We in the USA. But, man, I didn't know you were doing a compilation and having other people put songs on your album."
Huh.
I have to remind them, no, that's me singing. It's not a compilation. It's me. And they're like, no. And I go, yeah. And so I send them a link to the video, and they go, "Oh, I guess that is you. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I figured there's nowhere in the world the guy who sings Dance With Me could sing We in the USA." And I go, "Well, I don't know what to tell you." So it's a strange journey I'm on,
Mm-hmm. And of course, we'll play Get the Funk in just a minute and talk about that. But first, you're listening to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the king of Ghetto Rock, Billy Ray Rock, here on the Mike Wagner Show, based out of Washington State. We talked about some of his tunes like Dance With Me, Time Keep On, and also Don't Be Afraid, Sunglasses at Night. Don't get confused with the Corey Hart version. Right now, as we mentioned, here is the #2 song that's on the iTunes charts, R&B in South Africa, and keeps moving up. Here's Get the Funk from Billy Ray Rock right here on the Mike Wagner Show.
Woo! Get the funk.
What you talking about, man?
Then you gotta give it up.
I tell you this thing about.
Get the funk. Then you gotta give it up. Get the funk. Then you gotta give it up. Get the funk. Then you gotta give it up.
There ain't nothing but a party.
What are you saying?
We don't need the police.
What We ain't smoking that naughty, but you can kiss on me. Take it back to the old school, before pills and meth. We're gonna turn this to a block party, and we about to get lit. You don't know about Cameo, Confunction, James Brown. Then you can tell me who Roger is, the Rick James throwing down. Tell me,
Yeah, talking about, man. Throw it back like my.
we don't care, cause we be here to do this, just let me be clear. You gotta give it up. You gotta give it up. If you wanna dance, somebody show these kids. Big broken, they give them some fun now. Freddie, give them a little bit good.
Let's go. Let's go. That old school pop right there, bro. Get it. Yeah.
Sexy people got nothing to lose. We showing up late by the 1:45. In the VIP, we the who's who's. You ain't a part of this clique, don't cruise through. Let's go out to Roscoe's chicken spot. You can ask somebody about the funk we got. It's like Bruno Mars meets Billy Ray Rock. I can take it back when Slade was hot, when Parliament first album dropped, when Knee Deep filled the dance floor. Earth, and fire, make the people stand up. If you feel it's fun, throw your hands out. We don't care, cause we be here to do this, just let me be clear. If you wanna dance, somebody show these kids. Broken, give them some fun now. Freddie, give them a little bit. If you wanna dance, somebody show these kids. Big broken, give them some fun now. Freddie, give them a little bit. You gotta give it. You gotta give
That's a great song by Billy Ray Rock, which is called Get the Funk, #2 in the charts here on the Mike Wagner Show. And tell us more about that great song and what inspired you to write it.
Well, I've always wanted to get back into doing funk music. I was raised on it. And when Bruno Mars came out with 24 Karat, and the song that he did a few years back, I saw that people actually had a thirst for it. People still like funk music. And so I wanted to do a song, but I just kind of put it on the back burner. And then my brother, who was, of course, the reason why I even do music, I realized, I just had an epiphany. I go, all these songs I did and all this touring and everything, I have not done one song with him. So I called him up and I said, look, I got a song I'm working on. I wonder if you can put your horn solo in it and just kind of bless me with your presence on this, man, because I never feel like I'm half the musician he is. And he said, little brother, I got you. We can do this. So I sent him the song over. He loved it. He put his horn solo to it and everything. And then I took it and pieced it back all together and stuck it together. It was really interesting doing the song because I'm not a type person that does any swearing or explicit stuff in my music. I keep it pretty clean, But the thing is my brother, he's really deep in his faith, and so I knew that if I was going to do a song, I couldn't be talking about smoking weed and all these kind of things, you know.
Although it is high in the charts, I have to say that, so.
Yeah, no kidding. So when I put it together, it was a little. It's not something I regularly think about, but I had to be conscious of my lyrics because I want to respect his involvement, his faith, and all that. It wasn't a hard thing for me to do, but it came off quite nicely because back in the day when they made funk music. There was no cussing or swearing or talking about. The only person that really talked about smoking weed was Rick James back in the day.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, what was it? Mary Jane, 17, Give It to Me. And I think there was quite a few as well, too. And I think it related somewhere along the lines and very explicit. A lot of radio stations wouldn't play it. But you got to say this. Rick James was just one hell of a bassist. I have to say that.
He really was. Yeah. People don't really know that. I'm such a huge Rick James fan, and he was an awesome bassist. I mean, he was the reason why. Like, if you ever watch me in concert, you'll see a lot of Rick James up there in terms of energy levels and crowd engagement and whatnot. Between him and Prince, those are the two that drove me to feel like I can own the stage. This is my show. Watch me, all eyes on me, that kind of thing. And Rick James is one of those guys that when he was on the stage, it was like there was no other up there. And so, yeah, just a big fan of Rick James and his whole thing. People that know the Rick James history, it still blows me away that he and Neil Simon was in the same band. I still can't digest that one, but hey,
Neil Simon in the same band. Now, was Neil Simon? Are you talking about Neil Simon, the playwright, or the playwright? Are you talking about that Neil Simon?
No, the musician, Neil Simon, sing that song, I can be your bodyguard and you can roll on.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, we just want to clarify for the audience. Some people think Neil Simon as a playwright, so we just want to get the clarification out there.
Sure. Yeah, but that still blows me away.
That is something as well, too. We're here with the king of Ghetto Rock, Billy Ray Rock, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And also you have your album called Bad News, which is peaking at number 2 and around the top 10. And tell us more about that album, Bad News.
Bad News got a lot of stuff in it. I got a song on there, the title track, Bad News. I love it, but it's got a lot of different types of vibes. But it's got the song I'm Bringing Back Rock on there, which is an homage to all the rock bands before me. It mentions just about anybody you can mention, Limp Bizkit, all those guys. It brings them up, Huey Lewis, the whole thing. It's got other songs on there. It's got, of course, Had a Good Woman. It's got a song on there called, that I just finished, actually, called Ain't Nothing But a Party. And there's got another song in there called I Need Y'all Screaming, and I'm going to be throwing a video out, kind of a collab kind of thing with those two songs. Those are kind of rah-rah, the concerts about the Star songs, but they're really well done and came out great. But Bad News album's just got a lot of stuff in it. It's a big jambalaya of a lot of things, and I'm extremely proud of it and the work. I've got a song called Wild Out on there, which is, kind of some mosh pit rock type stuff. Just a lot of really just solid efforts that'll take you on a journey. There's a song there called Just Listen, which talks about, poverty and people, the kids and, that kind of thing. It's an album that takes you on a journey, and so, I hope people get a chance to check it all out. Whatnot. I just released a song that I did back in the late 90s. It won't be on the album, but it's called My Baby Mama, and it's more of a funny song. And so that's kind of out there running around in the internet land. My oldest daughter loves that song, thinks it's just hilarious, and, she kind of elbowed me into release it, just putting it out there. So I just threw it out there. It's not going to be on the album, but the Bad News album has so much other stuff on there that people I'm proud of it. We'll say it's got legs. There's a lot of different songs that we're going to get behind as we kind of move on. Get the Funk is where we're at right now. We'll eventually get started on, Sunglasses at Night. We'll work our way, to Dance With Me and I'm Not Afraid, or Don't Be Afraid, I'm sorry. Just a lot of different songs on there, man. So it's something else,
It sounds amazing, too. Where can we find Bad News, Get the Funk, and your other tunes at? Where can we find your music?
Well, they're all on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, everywhere you can look for all that stuff. It's all out there. You can, of course, find me on all the social media platforms at Billy Ray Rock, the number 1, on Twitter, Twitter and everywhere, Instagram and everywhere. You can also go to my website, BillyRayRock.com. Now, one of the things I want to clear up, a lot of people have been sending me messages wanting to know why Billy Ray Rock, and is Billy Ray my real name? And I want to take a second to clear that up. Billy Ray is my name, my birth name. I was born Billy Ray. And so, but I was going to just come out as a solo artist and just be Billy Ray. Mm-hmm. But what I found out was when I came out, there's another Billy Ray out there.
Oh, my. Competition. You call yourself maybe Billy Ray 2, Billy Ray 3, or Billy Ray 2.0. There is such a thing, too.
Well, you never know. But so I thought to myself, I want people to be able to find me. And, if they got to look through his Billy Ray Cyrus just to get to me. So I thought I need to put something on the end of my name, Billy Ray, so that people can know and have an easier time finding my music and whatnot. So I just came up with a name that I would never have to spell, and that's Rock.
Oh, that was very, very interesting. I love it. We're here with the king of Ghetto Rock, Billy Ray Rock, here on the Mike Wagner Show. We have just a few more minutes here. A big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. And what else can we expect from you in 2020 and 2021 and beyond, Billy Ray?
Well, we're going to do a tour over in South Africa. That's going to happen. We're trying to do a lot of stuff, man, but this coronavirus has got everything on lockdown. So I'm going to keep dropping videos. I'm going to keep getting music out there. And then once we know that we're free to leave the country, at least, because it seems like the U.S. has got more of a problem with it than some of these other states. I've been talking to an agent. We're talking about doing some stuff over in Sweden right now. And Get the Funk is doing really well over in the UK right now as well. And so it's a journey, man, and I can't wait to get to it.
It sounds like it as well, too. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
My single biggest influence is my brother Freddie.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called circulatory breathing that you sometimes see Kenny G and those guys doing. For people who don't know, that's where you hit a note and you can hit it for an infinite amount of time. Okay? Mm-hmm. And my brother Freddie was doing that before anybody did it.
Wow.
And next thing you know, I'm watching Arsenio and Kenny G does it. And I'm like, well, my brother Freddie was doing it 10, 15 years ago. So, I mean, I see him doing, like, groundbreaking things like that, man, and it just inspired me to get better, be different, and just be true to the music. And no shortcuts. Don't become a mediocre rapper and get a great music behind you. If you're going to be a rapper, be the best rapper ever. But I don't rap, There's a line in one song that I'm working on right now that says, I don't bling, but you can call me Hillbilly. I don't rap, but I sing like a villain, And so I don't, I look at those types of things that my brother did, and it inspires me. And that's got to be my single biggest inspiration.
It sounds like a great inspiration as well, too, and you're an inspiration to all of us as well, too, Billy Ray. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Best advice to anybody in music or just in general?
It can be music, it can be general, it can be whatever.
Well, the best advice I can give to anybody out there is you got to enjoy each moment like it's your last. Because you never know when or if your next great moment's going to happen. And I got to tell you, man, there are people out there right now, they're hanging out with their family on a Thursday, and they're going, yeah, I'm not really into this TV show. Or I'm not into this moment. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be in a better mood because I got half the day off, and then at midnight they die.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow never got here. So you got to enjoy every morning like you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. I mean, you better enjoy, I had a buddy of mine, he was dating a 19-year-old girl. A buddy of mine was 52 years old. He wanted to know what I thought about it? I said, good for you. Are you happy? He says, yeah. Is she happy? Yeah. Okay, good for you. I mean, you got to enjoy life. You and that 19-year-old need to get together and do whatever it is y'all need to do every day, hang out at the hotel, eat Chinese food, have great sex, laugh, kiss, enjoy each other. Because next week, one or both of y'all might not even be here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ain't married and she ain't married and you ain't messing with nobody's life, man, you got to enjoy your life today. Don't worry about what everybody's going to think 6 months from now. You got to enjoy it today. That's the best advice I can give anybody, man.
Mm-hmm. And that's excellent advice as well, too. I'm going to apply it as well. And once again, Billy Ray Rock, King of Ghetto Rock here on the Mike Wagner Show. A big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to again soon. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, your website. How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, everywhere you can find me. My website is BillyRayRock.com. You can catch me on social media at Billy Ray Rock and then the number 1. But if you're going to find me on Facebook, you got to go Billy Ray Rock and then write out the number 1, like O-N-E. Now, I'm also on TikTok at Billy Ray Rock 1. And I'm also on a bunch of other stuff, man. I'm everywhere. At Billy Ray Rock 1. I don't really mess with Reverb Nation too much, but I suppose you can find something out there on me, And I got my manager Michael at NTS, man. They're taking care of me and giving me blessing me a lot of these opportunities, man. And so you can always go through them to find me, MTS Management Group. But yeah, you could reach out to me directly if you got a comment about a song, man, or you just want to say hi. You can reach me on Instagram or whatever, man. I'm building an army, and I want y'all to come be a part of it.
Sounds great. Once again, Billy Ray, a big thank you for your time. You've been very fantastic. Looking forward to him again soon. Do us a favor. Keep us up to date. Looking forward to have back on 2020 and 2021 and beyond. You've been fantastic. We really enjoy you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You have an awesome day. Thank you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.